Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today. Very impressive day for the San Francisco 49ers. 6-0 on top of the NFC, atop of the NFC West, beating the Carolina Panthers. Very, very tough game. I was very nervous about this one coming out of the gates. The Niners flipped the switch and just played a really good game of football. And they really, besides for Jimmy Garoppolo taking that safety in the third quarter, Jimmy Garoppolo throwing the interception in the first quarter, there was really nothing the Niners could really do bad. I can honestly tell you that from actually watching the Carolina Panthers for the first time and seeing Kyle Allen, I will honestly tell you I didn't know this guy's story. And for this guy to take over for the Carolina Panthers and go 4-0 as their starter, as an undrafted quarterback coming out of college, that took a bet on himself, even stuck with Carolina after they cut him and brought him back the following year. Take that job and run with it. You're a damn good quarterback in this NFL, and if anybody can take that job from Cam Newton, it honestly could be you. You had a bad day. It's probably going to go down on your resume, as this might be the game why they put Cam Newton back in there. But if you get another chance, take it and run with it. Kyle Allen, 19 for 37, 158 yards, and threw 3 interceptions today against a really good 49er defense. But the Niners defense really stood strong. The 49ers offense really couldn't do anything bad at all. We got a game against Arizona. I can honestly tell you that I'm going to pick the Niners to beat Zona in that one, and then we go to Monday Night Football against the Seattle Seahawks, another one of the big tests. But as of right now, my only question is this a game that the 49ers can stamp on the 2019 season and say that we are one of the elite teams in the NFL? Because even at 5-0, people were looking at us basically, who they really played. They only scored 9 points against Washington. It was always just one excuse after another excuse after another excuse to sort of say, the Patriots are better, the Packers are better. For a little bit, they were saying the Bears were better. I know in football, you only play one game a week, other than the bye week. And the ups and downs. You have one bad Sunday, and all of a sudden, people are saying that here it comes. They're just gonna fall to the bottom of the NFL yet once again. But riding the ups and downs, we've gotten respect. For a team that was piss poor horrible. Where I heard Shanahan on the pregame talking about the trade deadline coming up on Tuesday, basically saying that last year at this point, the 49ers only had 1 win. The year before, the first year as a coach for the 49ers, we had no wins. So at this point, being able to say that we're undefeated is one hell of a thing. But, the Niners, we held Christian McCaffrey to 14 carries for 117 yards. He had 4 receptions for 38 yards, was not able to find the end zone on the day. The 49ers, Jimmy Garoppolo, was 18 for 22 for 175. He threw for 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. Tevin Coleman had probably the day of his life. I'm still a Matt Beretta guy, but when a guy finds his way to the end zone 4 times in the same day, you got to tip your hat to that dude and be glad that he's on your football team. He came over for the Atlanta Falcons for a reason, and I think a game like today is one of the reasons why. Tevin Coleman ran the ball 11 carries for 3 touchdowns. He had 105 yards on the day, and then he also had 2 receptions for 13 yards. One of those, he was able to make his way to the end zone. In the bottom of the fourth quarter, Rasheem Mostert, he had a touchdown where basically he just broke loose. The defensive lineman for the Panthers, he honestly looked like he was just too big, too worn out, wasn't able to get a hold on him. And then honestly, the Carolina Panther guy threw a block on the linebacker that should have had the beeline to come from behind and make the tackle on him. Matt Beretta, 11 carries for 35 yards, probably breaking some hearts in some fantasy leagues out there. But Niners got the win. So at the end of the day, that's what's going to be. We had interceptions from Richard Sherman, Emmanuel Mosley, as well as Nick Bosa, who was able to return his back to the house. I believe that was in the third. It might have been in the fourth quarter. But one hell of a day. Nick Bosa definitely looks like he's going to be the rookie of the year on the defensive side this year. For one, to cross sports, my Sacramento Kings starting out the year horrible. And my buddy's like, dude, worst case scenario, what if we get down to the point where we're picking in the lottery again? That's not going to help us. The Niners had a horrible team. I apologize. That's a little strong. They had a horrible season last year. They ended up with the number 2 pick in the draft. Was able to pick Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa looks like he's going to be a real impact guy that's going to come in here and really shape up that defense. You've got that defensive line already with so much talent. DeForest Buckner. We have Eric Armstead. We've already used a lot of number 1 picks very high in the draft to really put that together. We basically borrowed the University of Oregon to come down here and play for us. But Nick Bosa looks like he's going to be able to affect the passing game, in fact, the rushing game, and just be a Niner for a while. And that's he's one hell of a talent. I mean, I don't think as a 49er fan we've ever had a defensive guy that can impact the game the way that Nick Bosa does. So I'm glad that he's with us. Niners get the win, 51-13. We're going to play on Sunday against the Arizona Cardinals. This is a team that, honestly, Larry Fitzgerald gives us trouble every single time we play him. I believe that he has, in the history of the San Francisco 49ers, the most touchdowns scored against us. That's one hell of a record to have. He's not having the year this year that he had last year. Last year was a big drop-off for him. But then again, Arizona wasn't that good. But it looks like Arizona's finding a way to run that offense where it doesn't really pump everything through Larry Fitzgerald. So we're going to see what we have. If the Niners can get off the line and impact the way that... Shit, I just dropped his name. Number 1 pick in the draft, Steve. Dumbass. I want to call him Murray, but I don't think his freaking name's Murray. When teams have been able to put pressure on the Arizona quarterback, that's really bugging the crap out of me. I apologize. These videos, I've always put strength in trying to make sure these are really good. When you forget the Arizona Cardinals quarterback, it's hard to keep going. But, when teams have been able to put pressure on him and hit him, and it sort of contains the offense, and Arizona's lost those games. But when Arizona's able to let him get his footwork, get out of the pocket, either, run with the football or, run to open up something for the offense to have an offensive passing attack, they've won those games. So, the Cardinals coming off a loss, they lost to the Saints 31-9 today in Drew Brees' return. So we'll see what this is going to be. Arizona, it seems like they're up and down. But when it comes down to being a 49er fan, Arizona always seems to be up when they play us.